Hello to all humans and beyond. My name is Ash. Today is not a channel message, it's just an inspired message. As I've said before, the difference is sometimes I channel stuff, sometimes I just come up with an idea that is special or close to me. Inspired, if you know what the word is. I was gonna wear a headband because I thought it'd be funny, but I can't find it. I have no idea where it went, so today we're going to be talking about Naruto. And I actually had a headband for this, and it's so irritating I can't find it. It's going to have some fun. So, Naruto is one of the shows, if you haven't seen it, it's quite popular. It came out in the 2000s, the 90s, 2000s. And, it really stuck with me. It was one of those that got me through high school. Even middle school. So yeah, I guess the early 90s. Got me through middle school, late 90s. Anyways. It's kind of what I feel like anime is missing these days, is relatable characters. I mean, sure, they've got some really cool, funny stuff. Like Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z you watch for the anime. It's fighting and clashing, and the characters don't really have a lot of development. It's just characters. They always kind of have been who they are. But shows like Naruto has a lot of character development. And I actually had to write some notes to make this make sense today, so 90% of what I'm going to say is coming from this. But specifically, it taught me about individuality and being an individual. What is individuality? Quality of being a distinct person with your own unique traits, thoughts, beliefs, personality, and preference. Growing up, I thought Naruto was a cool anime. It was about ninjas and ninjutsus and sick fights and exploring. But now, I realize it's a story about loneliness, abandonment, and learning who you are when nobody believes in you. Spoilers ahead. Very few. I don't talk about the actual story itself, but there's still some. So if you haven't seen it yet, just forewarn. So Naruto starts his life alone. His parents died shortly after birth. And the village looks at him with fear and disgust, and he doesn't even understand why. Not in the beginning, at least. And because of that, he spends much of his childhood trying to get attention, any way he could. He pulled pranks, acts loud, and even demands to be seen. That's his biggest thing. Yeah, I'm gonna become Hokage, which is essentially the leader. But it's not out of ego, not out of a power trip, it's out of making people see him and recognize him, It's not to feed an ego, it's basically to, feed the trauma. It came from trauma. People with abandonment wounds do the same. When a child grows up feeling unseen or unwanted, they often grow up searching for proof that they matter. I mean, some of the pranks he did was just fucking ridiculous. He essentially defaced like one of their national monuments. The heads of the presidents, they have a parody, Mount Rushmore, that's what it's called, Mount Rushmore. They have a parody of it where all the leaders of the village are built up in stone. And one of the pranks he even did was completely defaced it. Like, that kind of crap would land you in prison for life. So one of those, some people, if they can't get positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement works just as well. Because it still validates the need to be seen. Even if it's not in the best of ways. Sometimes that turns into people pleasing or chasing relationships that might fill the emptiness. Instead, he chose to follow a goal, a dream. Naruto taught me that desire to be acknowledged is deeply human. It's something everybody wants, Sakura wanted to be validated by Sasuke. Sasuke wanted retribution for his family, or to be seen as the last remaining of his clan. Hopefully that even possibly be a hope for them. I mean, everyone in their own way wanted to be noticed, wanted to be seen. But what makes him special isn't that he never feels lonely, because he does. Especially that first or second episode when he fails the ninja test, you see him actually sad. Like, he's sitting on a swing by himself. For someone who's always so upbeat, loud, and obnoxious, you actually get to see moments of weakness for him. When he's actually sad and he's crying and, character development. But what it is that it keeps moving forward, despite the loneliness. Sure, there were days that he let it get him down. I mean, again, we're human. We're sick of feeling alone. But he didn't stop. He didn't let it destroy him. In fact, ironically, out of positivity and not anger, it drove him to work harder to be seen. Now, give or take, I don't like speaking specifically like work harder just so someone will validate you. No. That's how it started. It started with him wanting validation and working hard despite the odds, the underdog. And I'd have to really say it started with his first teacher, the teacher who flunked him. It wasn't like he did it on purpose, it's just the guy, he just failed the test, plain and simple. And he's like, no, I'm not doing this, I'm passing. So he snuck in, stole an ancient scroll, which had to do with, basically he failed a special jutsu, or a special class. For those who know what it is, it's shadow clones. He had to make a duplicate of himself, and when he couldn't, he decided to steal an ancient scroll and learn one of the most badass, spells, jutsus that they could. So instead of creating one clone, he can create like 100. And it led to this whole debacle where his teacher actually had to come save him, almost. Or at least chased him down. And witnessed the fruits of his labor. Kid's like, oh yeah, couldn't make a clone before, check this shit out. And he made 100 and beat up the bad guy. His teacher goes, alright, you pass. Fuck it, you pass. I say so. Screw the rules, screw the, He's like, clearly you've got it, and he made him pass. From that moment forward, people began to see him. Now, I feel like there's always a flip side. They do it from ego, My ego wants to be seen. I want to be validated. Like, I want to be a good artist, Well, I am. And that's not ego. I've put in the work. I've practiced. I'm a decent artist. Sure, there's always someone better, but we want to be validated, It's so much fun, like when we're kids, and we show our parents, look at this picture I drew, Some of the parents are like, oh man, that's so cool, that's so good. Some parents are super hypercritical, and it's like, oh, fix that. That's wrong. This isn't good. Kind of thing, So it causes us to work harder. And again, it dips on us. It brings us down. Because at some point you do all this work, and for those hypercritical parents, it's still not good enough, It's still not good enough. And then you question whether it's you or what the deal is, and it becomes a vicious cycle, pretty much. But he didn't let it be that. He didn't let it feed his ego when he started getting validation. It actually became a part of who he was. He just always worked hard. And it stopped being from, I need validation, to switching to, I work hard so that others really don't have to. I work hard so that people can rely on me. I work hard to be the best that I can be for the people I care about. Eventually he ends up getting a team. In the ninja show, in that show specifically, they had teams of 3 with a teacher. So technically teams of 4. And it starts off the same way. All these kids also learn to hate him. They don't even know why. So he got a lot of static, but he didn't stop being himself. Even when his team literally was telling him to shut the hell up. There were points when they had to stop and go, "Goddamn, okay. This kid's stronger than we thought. Give him credit where credit's due." Simply just by him being him. People just started accepting him. Why? It's because he accepted himself no matter what. That's where it really comes into play. Instead of going for validation, he got to the point he's like, you know what? I passed the ninja test, I'm a fucking ninja now. And that was the confidence boost that he truly needed. He validated himself, he worked hard, and he hit his goal. And he kept hitting his goal. And he kept hitting his goal. Till eventually he did become the Hokage. He becomes the leader of the village. Just like he said he would. So it stopped being I need people to validate me, to, you know what, I know I can do this. And that's why they started validating him. Ironically, I know it's always a pain in the ass, because it's like, the second you don't want the thing, you get the thing. Well, that's a good lesson there. In fact, like I said, it ended up becoming the entire village acknowledged him. They just couldn't. They couldn't ignore his efforts. They just couldn't ignore him. Again. Let's put it this way. Believing in yourself makes you shine. It makes you glow almost. In ways that people can't even imagine. Having confidence, in fact, that's what, women are attracted to, confidence. Most people. I'm not meaning to generalize or summarize, but confidence, not even have to be women, just people. Confidence is revered as sexy. People love that. You have a confident man, it's a special energy. Or a confident woman. You get special energy coming off of them. Or farming, whatever you want to call it. And they just can't help it. But he got to a point where his energy was just so magnetic, he ended up bringing villages together, because he believed in himself. To a ridiculous level, even when nobody else did. I'd have to say he almost had blind confidence. Delusional confidence. But guess what? It worked. He kept moving forward. He never stops believing that his existence has value. The second lesson Naruto taught me was throughout the series, everyone tries to define Naruto by what they see. Some see him as a troublemaker, as a failure, even as a monster. Yet he refuses to become the labels other people place on him. He decides for himself who he wants to be. For someone struggling with abandonment wounds, this lesson is pretty powerful. Because it gets to the point, people abandon themselves. When you spend years seeking for approval, it's easy to let others tell you who you are, who you become. You become whatever earns acceptance. You wear masks to survive. But Naruto's journey shows something different. Instead of asking, who do they want me to be, he asks, who do I want to become? That shift literally changes everything. His strength doesn't come from being accepted first. Acceptance comes after. His strength comes from continuously believing in himself. It taught me abandonment can leave wounds, but the wounds do not define the person you are. And becoming an individual means choosing your own identity, instead of living inside the expectations, fears, or judgments of others. On that note, I want to jump to Gaara, his supposed counterpart. He had the similar upbringing. In the show, These people who have these monsters put inside of them are called Jinjurikins, and they are revered as monsters. Pretty much as the same monster. It's like they don't see the person. They see the monster that's inside of them. And Gaara was the complete opposite of Naruto. He became the monster. He became the fear. Everyone tried to harm him, hurt him, even possibly kill him. Some of his closest people did. But instead of being confident in himself, he let it crumble. He let himself crash. He was, okay, even my own family tried to kill me. You know, I must be something horrible. So you know what? I'm gonna be this horrible person. Fuck everyone. Nobody can be trusted. Everyone needs to suffer. That's basically, he became the monster. He killed people before he was even an adult. Like, as a kid, he ended up killing people. So he became the label that they said. He became a monster. And finally, he ends up meeting Naruto, who whoops his ass. Whoops his ass good. And he helps him see the light. He's like, you don't have to be this way. Dude, wake up. You don't have to be what they say. And it slowly and steadily changed him. Like I said, there is some massive character development in Naruto, especially Gaara. He goes from being a horrible, murderous monster who tries to kill everyone in his path to one of Naruto's best friends. He also ends up becoming the leader of his own village, thanks to Naruto, in a sense. Because he developed the skills from Naruto, from being his friend. So again, being confident in oneself allows you to shine as brightly as a star. And people just, they can't ignore that. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because of course it's a show, but he still always had people who hated him. Because there are those that are jealous. It's just, it is what it is. People get jealous. Whenever they see confidence, their insecurity kicks in. And they're like, yeah, whatever. You know, screw this person. And then they lead from their egos. And it gets triggered. So, you don't shrink down either. He never shrunk down. Anytime someone told him he was obnoxious or annoying, sure, maybe, like I said, there were times when he would step aside and just kind of mourn. He would be upset and allow himself to kind of feel the feelings. But he wouldn't let him take him down. He would still be himself. He never shrank down. He's just like, yeah, well... It's pretty much his whole personality. But it was never out of anger or hatred or bitterness. It was out of pure love. Because again, he became one of the most loved characters. Why? Because even though these people treated him like shit, he still loved them. He wanted to be accepted by these people. By the people that treated him so badly. That's all he ever wanted. Some people are just blessed like that. Some people have to learn the lessons. Some people are just naturally born good-natured. I don't know if I truly believe that, but I think everyone's born good-natured. It's just the world turns us into something, or likes to make us think we're something that we're not. So instead of listening to all of them, be confident within yourself and be like, you know what? I'm not weak. I'm not useless. I'm not A, B, C, D, whatever they want to say. You gotta be who you want to be. No matter what anyone says. And again, I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't hurt, because it does. To wanting to be accepted and then having people figure out who you are. I've had people shy away. I've had people ghost me. I've had people use me. I've had people call me too much or not enough. I've had people be afraid of me. Sometimes because of things I did, sometimes just because. But yet, you gotta keep moving. Even if you are lonely. how do you actually do that's the question. Kind of relates to me in my life right now. This is no longer on the notes. Notes are out the window. I've noticed that myself. It's interesting, because you are the company that you keep. So again, I'm not saying anything's inherently bad, but if you're constantly around people, maybe you don't even know who you are. I was a chameleon. Whenever I made friends, I would become like them. I would be how they wanted me to be, or how I thought they wanted me to be, just so I would get accepted into the reindeer games, so to speak. And then whenever I would start showing myself, my true self, how I actually wanted to act, they would retreat. They would pull back. And I would get called names or talk negatively. You know, like I've even had a streaming Discord I used to have, and I actually built a community. But even though people love me to my face, you know, whenever I really tried to be myself, it ended up actually destroying my entire community. I've lost half my followers, kind of thing, and I gave up. I destroyed it, effectively. I lost everyone that I was talking to. I don't have a single person in my life that I could consider a friend right now. And yeah, it's sure as hell is lonely. But it's necessary, because if I constantly am around people and they're trying to tell me how to be, or I'm trying to be like them because I want to be accepted, you never really get to know who you are. And even though, like I said, I am quote-unquote lonely, I'm learning who I am. I'm learning how I act. I'm learning what I really like, what I don't like. Like, here's a good example. My family. A lot of people, we have that. And I bring this up all the time. I feel like every time I bring it up, it's like, oh, pity party. But I am also disabled, for those who know the channel. I was born disabled. So a lot of people, you know, look down on me, and not necessarily in a bad or, I mean, it's 50-50. But it's been a lifetime of people telling me, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good enough. Like, people didn't think I was able to work a normal job. You know how hard it is to get a job. People look at you and are like, wow, you can't perform the job. And then the people who believe in me hire me, and they find out, oh shit, he's pretty good. I used to work at a UPS store. Believe it or not, I can lift up to 80 pounds. Surprise, surprise, you know. I moved boxes for a living, heavy boxes. I mean, I play video games, I used to play guitar. I learned to do everything I was told I couldn't do, due to my disabilities. Just like Naruto, it drove me. It drove me to be better, or to learn. And because of that, I became confident, because I have problem-solving skills, as I've talked about in many videos. So being the person I am, yeah, you know what? I can't change it. I can't change my arm. Even if I went and got surgery, it would never be the same. So being confident in myself. I'm not broken. It's how I was born. I'm different. That's all it is. And to be able to say that 100%, yeah, there are still days it gets me down. I mean, people stare. It is what it is. But being confident in myself helps me just kind of get over it. Because I've also seen others just like me, and it helps me give compassion. And that's why Naruto was such a good character, is because he knew what it was like to be bullied, to be hated, to be feared. So he was able to give his enemies compassion. More times than not, he changed their attitude, like Pain, Nagato. Pain was literally Pain. He had a really dark story, and instead of Naruto killing him, he turned him around and said, yo, knock this shit off. I get it, life sucks, people suck, but you don't have to be this way. Same thing. So he, because of what he went through, could show compassion to those, even his enemies. And for the longest time, that's what I wanted to be. Because, like I said, you got the two personalities, Gaara, who hates everyone and wants everyone to suffer. And then you have Naruto, who leads with compassion and a big heart. I'm constantly between those two, you know? When people hurt you, call you names, call you crippled, call you things, you want to lash out and be nasty. That's because your insecurities are flaring. But if you're confident in yourself, you don't really have those insecurities. It's just kind of how it is. So even despite having just crazy life, the kid still managed to stay positive. So I idolized him. I was one of those kids growing up, you know, who's your hero? Naruto from an anime. And I know a lot of people feel that way too. That's why the 90s just, you know, has so much nostalgia, I feel like. It really connected to its people. It's connected to its fan base. Instead of just trying to be a money-making product. The character had real development. He had weakness. He had struggles. And he's a really good role model. So, well, that's what I learned from Naruto. It will always hold a special place in my heart. In fact, I almost want to go back and rewatch it without all the filler. There's a lot of filler. Especially in Shippuden. There's so much filler. It's good anime, though. I love it. I think that's it. That's all I have to say. So, waiting to see if anything else pops up. But yeah, no, I feel like that's it. You guys have a great day, or night, or whenever you're watching this. Whatever. And guess what? Believe it! Oh, my stomach turned saying that. In fact, I'm just really gonna say this really fast. There's another character similar, in... Fuck, I just had it. Soul Eater. It's another good 90s anime, 2000s. There's a character named Blackstar. And he's constantly, I'm the best! I'm the best! And one of the teachers finally goes, he's not doing it out of being an ego. He's not truly trying to say, I'm better than everyone else. What he's doing is he's driving himself. He's driving himself forward saying, well, if I'm the best, you know, and he used it as a platitude to push himself further and further. Being one of those, well, if I'm the best, I can't fail here, kind of thing. Not out of ego, but out of a drive. People got annoyed, but some of his best friends are like, yes, you are the best. They're like, I bet you are, bud. Not mockingly, they're just like, yes, you work hard. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm gonna chill for another 60 seconds though, because, you know, I'm OCD with times. I like it being split on an even number if I can. Awkward silence. What else? In fact, that's also how he brought his teammate back around. His best friend at the time, in the future, Sasuke, same thing. Sasuke had a pretty effed up past and he let it consume him. He let himself become a monster. Then Naruto basically slapped him silly and said, nah, knock that shit off, come on back. Out of all the shit he did, Naruto kept trying to bring him back to be his friend. He's like, nah, we're friends. Fucking stop this. And Sasuke's literally destroying villages, killing people. And I'm just like, no, dude, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That tenacity he used on never giving up on himself allowed him to never give up on others either. But he had healthy boundaries. Oh, we're past the 30 minutes. Alright, have a great day.